Check it out. Alrighty. It's gonna be a little bit different tonight in the fact that normally I try to come up with like a little mini lesson to share with you guys, but this is more just gonna be sharing my experience over the weekend, what kind of happened, what it was like. So first of all, how did I go to the small group? Not small group, men's retreat. So I knew that it was coming up at my church. They'd been advertising it like all month. They were like, if you're a guy, you need to go to the men's retreat because it'll be great. I was like, I mean, not really my kind of thing, you know. I'm busy. It's whatever. I'm not gonna go. And so like, I think it was Wednesday, maybe Tuesday, a few days before, my pastor texts me, because I have my pastor's number because we're tight like that. He texted me, he was like, hey, I have a seat open in my car if you want to go to the men's retreat this Saturday, blah blah blah, told me about it. And I was like, man, I can't just say no to my pastor. There's no reason that I can't go. If I say no, it's just gonna be because I don't want to. So I was like, all right, whatever. And the retreat was a multiple day event. But if you didn't want to do, I think it was like 3 days. If you didn't want to do the full event, then you could just go on Saturday at like a reduced price and obviously less time, just one day. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll go. It's fine. Green cup, green screen, yeah. So I ended up going on Saturday, and it was actually really cool. I didn't know who all was going, but my small group leader was going. He's super cool. And the worship leader at our church was also going, and he's super cool as well. So both of them were going, and then somebody who I didn't know was also driving with us, but he turned out to be super cool as well. So it's awesome. Anyway, we get to this place, and honestly, I had no idea what to expect. It was a men's retreat. I barely knew where we were going. I was just like, all right, whatever, I'll go. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the picture up. We went to a I think it was called a Christian retreat camp or something like that. So this is what it looked like a little bit. This is one part of it. It was like on a lake, a small lake, and this was like the building that everybody was staying in. It had a dock. There were tons of kayaks and canoes for us to use. More about that later. So we got to this place, and the weather was beautiful on Saturday. It was absolutely beautiful. So here, let me show you another picture. This is more of the lake, the dock that extends out. And so we had a ton of free time. We had like 2 devotionals that lasted maybe an hour each, I guess. But other than that, our time was like basically free to do whatever the heck we wanted to do. So when we got there, we did one devotional, and then we went on like a prayer walk. And then after that, we all decided we were gonna play volleyball. They had like a volleyball place set up, and they told us after we played that they had just put new sand down, so it was great. We all sucked at volleyball, but it was still fun. My pastor, he smack talks so hard. It's hilarious. Anyway, so we played volleyball. What did we do next? I think we might have done kayaking next. And the kayaking was interesting because I didn't bring a bathing suit. And the kayak had like holes in the bottom. So my butt was wet. And that wasn't fun. But the kayaking was cool. I also decided to wear my shoes in the kayak, which would have been all right, except I had not thought of the fact that when you're taking the oar, and you know it's like the double-sided oar, and you're going back and forth like this, so each time you go up, you just put water all over yourself. So not only was my butt soaked, but I was soaking like my shorts just by doing this. So it was, yes, I had socks. I had socks and shoes on. I should have taken them both off, but I didn't. So we went kayaking. It was cool. We went to like a really muddy swamp area. It was fun to navigate. We kept getting stuck, but it was fun. And so then I got really dirty because I was kicking mud up all over myself. It was ridiculous. So then we got back, and I like let my socks and shoes dry out. I didn't have a change of clothes, so I just had to deal with the fact that like my shorts were soaked. But we were up, moving, doing stuff all the time, so it was fine. After the kayaking, we pretty much went straight to, they had a rope course that was going to be open for a couple hours. So we went and did the rope course, which was really cool. I have one video to show you guys. If you saw it on Twitter, it's going to be the full version, which isn't a whole lot more. But I think there was like two sections that we could do. I think somebody recorded me doing the other section as well, but I haven't gotten that from them yet. So I just have this one. So here. So there I am. You can tell it's me because I'm wearing my terrible person shirt, climbing up a tree on the bars, and I'm like all roped up, like if I fall, like it's gonna like catch me. So I get to the top. The person recording it is breathing really heavy, and so right there, what I'm doing, so I get to the top, and I do like a little thumbs up off in that direction. It's because as soon as I got to the top, somebody called my name, and I was like, what? And they were gonna take my picture, so I was like, yeah. So for this one, as you can see, there's like a log. So basically what we had to do is we had to walk across the log, and then walk back to the center of it, and then they'd have us fall down. So I went with a one hand out tactic. So I had one hand on the rope thing that was tied to me, and then I had one hand out for balance. Backwards walk of death. Yeah, I do walk backwards after I go across. Everybody was saying that I like destroyed this part. That I was just like super graceful, and I just handled it like a champ. I felt pretty good about this part too. The other half was harder. So hopefully I can get the video for that sometime and show you guys. But yeah. So I just walked to the other side. And then you didn't have to walk backwards, but that was the thing to do, was to walk backwards as you go back. And they have you walk back to the center. And then unworthy graceful, yeah. So then they had me face that way. And I was really bad at keeping my legs straight because I have so super long legs. Because I'm kind of tall, so I'm like struggling to like put my legs straight. And then what I should have done probably is had my back straight as well, but I was like leaning up, and so I like kind of fall a little bit, but then I'm slowly lowered to the ground safely. No seraphs were killed in the making of this video. The other one when I came down, because I did the harder one first. When I came down, I did the descent worse than I did there, and I like freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh. Thought I was gonna die, and then I like spiraled as I came down. It was ridiculous. So yeah, there's that. So that was super cool. And then we went and we played. So you guys know Foursquare, right? That game where there's 4 squares and you bounce a ball, you know, Foursquare. You played it on the playground probably. Well, they had something called 9 Square in the Air. So what it is basically is it's kind of like Foursquare, except the grid is in the air, as you can see, and you have a volleyball. And so if the ball falls into your square, then you go back to square one, and you can only hit the ball once. You can't double hit it. So if you hit it once and it doesn't go out of your square, then you're out. You can only hit it once, and we get a good string going here. So if the ball goes in your square, you go back to square one, and then everybody else rotates forward. And then eventually you get to the center if you don't get out, and whoever's in the center serves it. So we literally played this game for like 2 hours straight. 2 hours straight without stopping. It was just so fun. We were hooked. It was so much fun. So stinking fun. Like I kept telling my pastor, I was like, dude, we need 9 Square in the Air at the church. Like, come on. We gotta have it. Trash Tom, yeah. Like, I loved it. I loved it. And of course, my pastor was super competitive, super trash talking everybody. It was so much fun. This guy right here, this is my small group leader. He had mastered like serving it, and like he'd get to the middle and he'd just go silent. He wouldn't talk to anybody. He'd just serve it and like destroy people. And then this guy in the white and red back here, that's our worship leader, and he was also really good at it. So like those two had like a rivalry going on, and our pastor wasn't playing at first, but when he came in later, it was like everybody gang up on the pastor. No, Ray, for us it was super competitive, but it was so much fun. It was all in good fun. It was awesome. So yeah, that was a 9 Square in the Air. That was the best part of the retreat. And then after that, I think we had a little bit of time. We played a board game called Codenames. I'm not going to get into that, but it's fun. And then we had dinner. And then we did our last devotion. And then we went home. And it was like we were there for like a little over 12 hours. So it was a really long day. By the end of the day, I had 14,000 steps logged on my watch, which is crazy. I never had that many steps. Most I'll get is like 6,000-7,000 maybe. Normally around 4,000 on average, probably. So I had 14,000 steps by the end of that day. It's ridiculous. So anyway, point is, I had a ton of fun. And it was great. But what I want to get back to is the devotionals that we did. So we only did 2 on Saturday. But the whole retreat was just kind of talking about busyness and how we get so caught up in work, or even just with our kids. I don't have kids, but for people that do have kids, and we don't we don't make time for God. We don't make time for our friends. Some of the things that really matter. It was just about like not getting caught up in the busyness of life. There was a bunch of statistics how people are busier than ever. People thought technology was gonna like make us like have like 20-hour work weeks, but really it's just made us work even more. So people are working more than ever, and so it really hit me in an interesting way, because I'm in a position where I felt like obviously I'm going full-time in a couple months, and I felt like that once this 2 months is up, once I go full-time, like it's go time. It's time to get work done. It's time to buckle down. It's time to do this thing. And I felt like it was kind of like a warning per se to not so much get caught up in the busyness of it all, and to make sure that I'm pacing myself, that I'm making time for the things that matter still. Yeah, it was just really interesting. So all that being said, I wish I had gone to the full retreat. Like if they ever have another one, which they probably will, I'm going to the full thing next time, because that was so much fun. So much fun. Even the people that I didn't know yet, they were all super cool people. I got to know them. So much fun. I wish I had done the whole thing. Like if you guys ever have a retreat, your guys' church, I would highly encourage you to go on it. Even if you think you're busy, it'll be worth it, just as a time of fun, but also just a time of rest, to reset and to just spend some time with some amazing people, people that you don't even know yet, but that are amazing nonetheless. So yeah, that's the lesson, I guess, for this SeraphShares, is go to retreats because they're fun. I'd never been to one before, but it was super fun. I really enjoyed it, and I almost didn't go. The only reason I went is because my pastor texted me, and he was like, "We got a spot." I was like, "Okay." So I'm really glad that I said yes to that. Yeah. True statistics. Sarah says super cool to describe everyone talked about, and I mean, super cool, man. It's super cool.